Hi, it's really good to see you. So let's go. So I've been thinking about perfectionism. What do you think when you think of that word? I've been asking people, and certainly for me, when I turn that lens on myself, I really imagine myself at 15, and I just completed my biology homework. And I'm going back to the top just to underline the title. And this was in ink. And the title is just a little bit off, like a tiny fraction. But that's enough to know that there's no way that I'm going to hand that in. I'm going to have to rewrite both those pages and underline that title until it's absolutely perfect, because it's a disaster. And I think about that moment when I think about perfectionism. And I think about it when the texts have been coming back in, those responses. What does it mean to you? What does it make you think of? And people have said, high standards, committed, dedicated, focused. And I get that for sure. But some other responses that have been coming back by text have been panicked, stressed, clinging on too tightly, time-consuming, for sure, a trap, a lie. Which is interesting, because what kind of lie could I possibly have been telling myself? And when I think back to that moment, what I know for sure is that I was not rewriting those pages, those biology pages, out of any kind of love for the subject, or because I wanted to improve my knowledge. No, I was just terrified that I might not get an A, because then actually the world might fall apart. And I do think about that now when I'm choosing where to spend my time and why. And tonight I'm choosing to spend it with you doing this, which is awesome. Standing here, speaking in public. Also interesting because fear still plays a really big part in doing this for lots of speakers and for myself. But one thing I know for absolute certain is that actually public speaking leads to something that's a completely different space than my perfectionism. Perfectionism taught me to lock down really hard, really tight to grip on. But actually, standing up here, speaking in public, teaches me to be open, to try to breathe, which is useful, and that it's okay to make mistakes, that actually it's normal and the world does not fall apart. And actually, when you do that, you stand the chance of connecting with people like you, which is pretty awesome, because perfectionism can be quite a shield. It can be isolating. And I know when I listen to speakers, what I want to do is to hear what they have to share. Now, I tried to draw it as though we were connecting by our brains, but the picture didn't come out quite so great. But that's okay, because in a few seconds, just a few seconds, I'll get on to move on from that, and I won't have to redraw it, because actually there's no standard of perfection when you're up here. You know that thing with a face where to be perfect, it has to be symmetrical, where there's no Photoshop up here, there's no filters, you have literally no choice but to stand up here in the flesh, because it's live, and that is totally awesome. Lights have exploded, tech has failed, I've tripped over wires, and the world has not fallen apart, I can promise you. I love that about it. So I think about it when I'm choosing where to spend my time, and tonight that's with you, and I'm extremely grateful for that. So with the time that I have left, I have one little challenge for you, and I promise it's not an exam, it's not a test. So what do you think of when you think of a perfect little pony? There's not just one answer to this. There's no one right answer. I can promise you that. So I'm going to share just one example that I've seen recently. And I saw it when I was up walking on the moors. And I saw it and I thought, what are you? A little horse, a goat, a cross? You're amazing. I love you. You are perfect. And you are definitely going in my talk. And for just a few seconds as I put it in, I was like, pony, is that the right word? Should it be foal? Maybe it's incorrect. Maybe you should do some more research. Maybe it's not right. But you know what's really great about getting to come here tonight is that I get to say to that voice, actually, you know what? I think we're good. I think we can trust that this is not an exam. I'm not going to be graded on my horse terminology. You actually get to go and share that picture because you love it with these people, and how cool is that? So thank you.